Might have to accept that.
Oops. Hmm. There we go. Good morning, everyone. It is Brenda and Dr. Dave back here with Conversations with the Devas. How are you today, Dr. Dave?
Good. Thank you. Thank you. So glad to be here, and always fun to be able to get to play together in our spiritual playground every Monday.
Absolutely.
It's fun.
It's a wonderful
So,
day.
do you have a good weekend?
I did. I did my Christmas baking with my daughter and granddaughter and Christmas shopping on Saturday. So, yes, it was a very busy, action-packed weekend. So, got lots
Nice.
done. Yeah. How
Awesome.
about you?
It was interesting because we had the holiday here, Thanksgiving, so it was just
Right.
all a great big weekend. And a lot of folks got a bonus day today because there's quite a few different schools that were canceled this morning because of the snow and ice and all that
Wow.
jazz. Yeah, so I'm very happy to report that I can only see grass green.
Yay, me too. Very happy to report that. Not wanting to see that anytime soon. It's nice just seeing it fluff down, but then go away. I don't need to see it.
Exactly right. Yep, I just only want to see that in a snow globe.
Yeah. Or if I'm inside in front of a fire with a nice big hot chocolate with marshmallows, looking outside going, wasn't that lovely? As long as I'm not going out in it and I don't have to scrape it, shovel it, or brush it off anything, we're good.
Absolutely.
Maybe on the next morning though.
All right. So you ready to get moving?
I am. I'm just shuffling the cards. Oh, there it is. Our first one is Pine. And what a wonderful card for this time of year.
I love it. It's so good. It's so good.
Yep.
Hmm. So, is it a specific pine?
Nope, just Pine.
Okay.
Like the Buckleys. It's made from pine needles. It tastes awful, but it works.
I don't even know what that is, but it sounds dreadful.
Buckley's?
Yeah.
Oh, Buckley's is a cough medicine and it's made from pine needles.
Oh.
So like when you take it in, like it just heats your body up like it says it tastes awful, but it works.
It makes sense. I get
It
it. But
does.
look.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the tastiest stuff, that's for sure. Number 2 is Rosemary.
Hmm.
And what is our last one here? And it's neat because we're making some room potpourri things, and there's rosemary in there with like dried oranges and things like that. So that's one of the other
Nice.
things we're doing. So yes, this falls right in line with what I've been doing this weekend and
Yay.
continuing this week.
That's awesome.
All right, let's just pick this one. Ooh, tangerine.
Oh,
Got some seeds
yum.
in there. So the pine, which is our first one, is representing all the things we have right now. So let's take a look at what we are working with right now. So breathe in my earthly aroma, release. Feeling stress dissipate. Do you need to rejuvenate? I'm Pine and I can help. Include me when you want to sit quietly or commune with nature. As you experience nature, visualize and experiences your connectedness to all things, plants, trees, birds, animals, insects, the universe, and Mother Earth. So this is a really nice time to have that reminder that yes, going towards Christmas can get stressful with all the to-do lists and trying to make it the perfect time of year and all that sort of stuff. But we need to remember that it's not about making it perfect. It's about making memories. It's about being with the people that you love, connecting with nature. And sometimes it's nice just to take a step outside, breathe in the sunshine, take a walk around, just to let that stress and just anything else that's in there, just to let it go and just to look around, see what's out in nature. We've got lots of squirrels around here. We have a black walnut tree in the backyard, so the squirrels just love it here. And actually, we have a squirrel that lives in the tree. There's a hole in the tree, and when I'd sit out in the summer, it would peek its head out and look at me, so which was quite cool. So yeah, it's quite happy having all these black walnuts to eat. So we see them on the fence because it's like a highway. The fence is going all along the
Nice.
back. And then the dog gets out and is like, "Woo, squirrel!" So, and we also have woodpeckers. So it's just nice to have that awareness that these beautiful birds and animals are all around us. I saw a fox maybe about a month ago just down the street, walking across the street, which was really, really cool. So, just to bring our awareness to what is out there and what we are connected to at all times. And then if you see a bird or you see an animal, look it up, see what it represents, because there's always messages for us in each one of these, because it's here to give us a message. So it's just that confirmation that you're in the right space, or that the universe is thinking about you and you're right where you need to be. So all these different things really help. And especially at Christmas time with children, it can get really overwhelming for children and they act out and it's not their fault. So when let's get our coats and our boots on, let's go outside. Let's take a look around, see what we can see. And you're making memories with the children, and you're taking them out of a situation that was, very stressful for them as well. So it's really nice that each one of us have the ability to do this at any time in your workday, whenever you have the ability to do this. Dr. Dave?
Yeah, to go on with that too, if you're stuck in an environment that you can't get outside, say you're, working a 9 to 5 job or whatever that might be, and you're not able to go outside, even if you can just retreat away for a moment and be able to be in that present of the woods, of your favorite place out in the outdoors. And if you just close your eyes and breathe into it and then just imagine it with every detail you possibly can, you're still going to get those wonderful benefits because the subconscious doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So it will still act, it believes that you're outside and you're still able to get some of those, if not all, of the same benefits. Obviously, we want to be able to get out there and do those things in live real time, but that also will help. Like, think about the holidays. If you're stuck in a line or something, or you're at the airport, you still have to do what you're doing, but you can make a choice to be able to. I still have that. I have that cell memory. And so I can go back in and just feel it, smell it. What does that feel like? And we talked pine one. I don't know that there's anybody that let's do in North America. I don't know about everybody else, but everybody knows what that feels like, what it smells like, and the needles of it. And it's one of those. I remember from orienteering class, 6th grade, that and that was in Minnesota, so it was a great place to get it to learn that stuff of if you get lost or you're left on your own. But I'll never forget that the instructor had said that any pine trees, if you're stuck out in the cold overnight, then you want to huddle underneath a pine tree because they actually generate heat, minimal amount, obviously, But then if you think about it, I mean, usually where deers and that other animals will be underneath that if it's snowing crazy and stuff, they're really close and underneath it because it's going to give you a really great buffer barrier for that
Mm.
outside. So just when it comes to pine for as far as essential oils, holy cow, how really they just throw them like it's the holidays, of course, pine. um it's as growing up having a Christmas tree, we always had a real tree. And then when I moved to the other side of the state, that was a no-no because it was all about the show of the tree that was on a carousel that literally turned 360 with the lights and everything. So that was cool. However, I'm like, I want a real one. And so I'm like, I can fix that. So I grabbed all the oils and that's what I used. And I would put a whole bunch of little like cotton balls and stuff inside the tree with the oils and yeah, and I was happy with that.
Made it look like a very snowy pine tree, so that's
Yes.
okay too.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It takes me one back to childhood, but it takes me to a place where a lot of incredible memories happened and they're anchored, so just the smell of that pine. And I hope that most folks get to have that same um memory recall. And if not, then this is a perfect time to begin to start using that time to be able to create those memories. Like you're talking about
Absolutely.
taking the kids, out and outside and things. Um, Pine is, I'm having a hard time distinguishing because that's too big of a group for me.
Mm.
Because there's various, I get a lot more technical when it comes to when I'm using them, especially for clients. So, there's from Douglas fir to wintergreen to I mean
Black
there's
spruce.
yeah, and we didn't I think we just had that, didn't we? Black spruce not that long ago.
Might have, yeah.
Mm, I think the thing in common is if you don't know what an oil's for, think about the plant or the tree, or however we get it, where it comes from, how Mother Earth gives that medicine to us. And if you think of it as a medicine, meaning that it's going to be able to change or help the body or the environment make a change. And so what you know about it. So if you know nothing about the essential oil, then just look at what do you know about pine. So, where does it grow? How does it grow? Um, and that's true for every one of the essential oils because those properties are in it. It is what they are. So if we look at how they're grown, how they're harvested, where they grow, and all those attributes, it's telling you you don't need a reference material. It's all there, and we have. That's one of the things that a lot of clients talk about is like, I don't know all those oils. Like, I don't know how you store all that information. I'm like, well, half the time I don't either. I just have to look it up on an app because I've got a few. But if on the spur of the moment, I just think about what the oil is, where it came from, and those properties of whatever that was, and then it starts making a connection of a metaphor, if you will, a story of what that oil is most likely going to be able to address or help you with. So, ta-da.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for those pointers too. Yeah, I didn't know that they give off heat and that it's a
Mm,
good place to go.
mhm.
Hopefully, no one's ever got to find that out for real, but now you have the information in case you do.
Yes.
So, which is always nice. It's always good to be prepared.
Mm, absolutely.
And we were just talking about that before we came on here to be
Mm.
prepared. So, yes, that's quite funny. Um, so the rosemary is our second one, and that is representing things that need to be released. Anybody got to let some stuff go?
Mm.
Always stuff to let go. So let's see.
Mhm.
Breathe deep and just be in this moment. Take in the beauty that surrounds you. I am Rosemary, and I open your senses to discover the magnificence of nature in all its splendor. So we've got a theme going on here. It's get out in nature, even though it's cold outside now and it's no longer summer. And you can't wear your sandals anymore, and you need to put
Well,
on
you could, but
well, you could, but your toes would be kind of
don't recommend
chilly.
it.
Ugh.
It's always a choice.
Yeah. So let go of all those like, oh, it's cold outside because I'm already thinking, and now I got to put my winter coat on. I got to put my mitts on. I got to put my hat on and my boots and all this stuff. Just get outside.
Mm.
Just go for a walk. Yes, it's cold, but each season brings its own beauty. And to remember that instead
Mhm.
of holding yourself away inside the house till springtime, it's probably not a good idea to do, although
Done it.
I had thoughts
Got
of
the
doing
t-shirt.
that because I don't want to be cold. But there's something to be said when you go out in the brisk, chilly air and just breathing that in, breathing the sunshine, and just letting whatever's holding on to you, let it go and let the universe transmute that into something else. And coming back in, you just have that fresh air through your body and you feel invigorated and
Mhm.
you feel alive, instead of, I know it's nice and cozy and fluffy blankets and all that stuff, but getting out there and just walking around, it invigorates you and it really helps you release what doesn't serve you and clears out that brain fog as well.
Sure does. Yeah. There's this huge movement over the past few years that's gained a lot of traction, and folks doing these recovery cold baths or ice baths.
Mm.
And that's similar to what that is, even if you're just going to walk outside when it is cold. But one of the things that I don't know that I really thought about it is until as you were talking, the when you look outside when it's really cold or colder, everything is a lot more vibrant usually. It's crisper, which also is why we need to do that so that we can have a better, clearer view of whatever's in front of us, whatever we're dealing with, a better, clearer view of what we're feeling and what we're going through. And rosemary is one of those anti-inflammatory ones, oil. And so funny story, I'm not a fan of rosemary. I'm just not. Um, rosemary, potatoes, and everything, and I can tolerate it. It's not that I hate it or anything. It's just, nah. Um, and so in my practice, I would hardly ever use it.
Mm.
I just didn't. Until I had a client that she had, it was like a chronic sinus issue that she's done everything under the sun, um, medically, holistically, that she kept trying and stuff. Um, and I'm like, I just feel like I'm missing something of a suggestion. And so I looked it up and it was rosemary for sinuses specifically. So we've got a breathe blend that has a whole bunch of, and it has rosemary in it, but which is always my go-to, which it's one of my faves. Um, I have to have it. I have the bottle stashed everywhere. In my truck, in my bag, next to the bed. They're everywhere because I know I'm going to use it quite a bit. Um, but rosemary, that was the one thing that it popped up um, for her, and it's like, okay, well, here we go. So I'm like, I don't have to deal with it for an hour because then she's out of my office. um, However, I could not believe the difference in how fast it was when I started using the rosemary for her. It literally was just I had to go get another box of tissues because it was just releasing absolutely everything. I could not believe it. It was uh, that will always get my buy-in when I get to see results like that. I'm like, okay, so me not liking it just got trumped because I will no, I don't get to use that because that incredible response that the body can have. So then I did start recommending it to folks, and they were astounded at how effective that was when it's a sinus challenge, and as opposed to a lung challenge, a breathing
Mm.
challenge. So, and if we look at the difference in holistically, um, the causations that we have with some of those challenges in the sinuses are usually about, and we are sinuses or allergies, um, is we're irritated by our environment.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
Rosemary is, it's all about helping eliminate those things, enabling us to be able to release that more effectively. So not having that being stuck within us, because sinuses, that's what it does. They just like plug up, and so
Right.
you're not getting any of that, the flow that you need to let it go. If you're not letting it go, then it just gets built up, and so that fluid then, I'm going to use that word, and because that could go
You.
gross. Right. So that is stuff we're not supposed to have, that we don't, I mean, we need to have it because what it's doing is cleansing that whole thing. So looking at being able to cleanse our thought and our irritation about the environment we're in, you might not be able to change the environment, but you absolutely can change how you look at it and how you respond to it.
Mm.
Because if you're, most times, if you're having a reaction with sinuses, that irritation, you're reacting, not responding.
Right.
And so that's us taking that one step back and taking a breath, however you can, if you're stuffed up. But choosing at that moment, how do I want to show up for this? How do I want to take back my power, take back that energy that is escaping me or it's getting blocked because of the flow? So then I can now choose, I'm not going to waste my energy on that. I'm going to manage my energy a lot better. And this environment isn't changing. It doesn't need to change. I need to change how I'm approaching it. And so Rosemary, it lends us right into that of giving us a way in that boost to help us, like, yeah, let's let that go. Let's, no, we can, doesn't mean that you don't care or that it's not something you should be looking at, because absolutely it is. It created a response. So we do want to take notice. Once we do that, Rosemary is able to help get rid of and flush all of those things that are now no longer serving us. So it does the exact job it was meant to do, is to get rid of those impurities, those irritants that are coming into the body. So it doesn't have to reside. So somebody has chronic sinus challenges, might want to figure out why you're so irritated every place you're at. Just a thought.
Very good question to ask. Mhm. And then let it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and our last one is Tangerine, and this is how everything is going to manifest out. Do you find you are doing but not getting anywhere? It begins with building self-confidence and embracing the changes that are coming for your highest and best. I am Tangerine, and I'm here to help instill confidence, remove that overwhelm, and make way for wonderful new experiences. So this just flows right into that. It's like, let's get out in nature.
Yeah.
Let's reconnect with all the kingdoms that are out there. Let's get out into that nice crisp air and clear our heads, clear what no longer serves us. Step out of to an environment that may be irritating us. If you have a stuffy nose, you might want to look at that. And then be aware and acknowledge all the wonderful things that are coming up. And instead of just doing and being busy but not doing anything, take that time to be and focus your attention on what's going to help you move forward rather than just running around like a hamster on the wheel. And that way you're going to move towards your goals. You're going to, help move forward, and you're not going to waste time, because that's one of the that is the most precious thing we have is time. And when you waste it, you don't get it back. You don't get to bank all those and then go, well, I'm just going to take from my bank of time, you don't get those hours back. So, and I hope you all have goals, because we've been doing this for a while now, even though we had a bit of a hiatus. We have been talking about this for a while, that you need to have goals and a roadmap. And if you haven't, then we've got some classes coming up soon. We're just getting back in the swing of the things, but we also have a meditation class coming up, which starts tonight. So if you're interested, the link will be in the comments under our videos. So definitely come out, and it's free to join, and it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we always have fun, whatever we're doing.
Tonight should be pretty interesting. There's some pretty high-powered divas showing up tonight. So it's gonna be good.
It'll be good. So
Even if you
don't
don't want to
forget-
meditate, just do the entertainment part of it.
Exactly. We have fun. You get an hour of peace and positivity. It's all good.
Mhm.
And it's not just sitting there with your eyes closed trying to not think of things that are running through your brain.
That's another class.
Yeah. We have a lot of fun when we're meditating, and everybody that we've done these meditations for so far have really enjoyed them, and we got quite a few of them coming back tonight, so excited about that.
Me too. Can't wait. Can't wait. Yay.
So what's your thoughts on Tangerine, Dr. Dave?
I love Tangerine. I really love all the citrus. Any citrus is a antidepressant. So across the board, all citrus, they help with those properties. Remembering the freshness, and that's really what it is that it's a fresh, open, clean, you just feel vibrant. I mean, just because you can imagine what a tangerine smells like, and if you haven't ate one, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
But it is tangerine specifically is the one oil that it recognizes really fast and targets. It goes right to the source of whatever is burdening you, whatever you're feeling overwhelmed with. And it brings in this new light, like a spotlight, and says, okay, this is it. Can we just put this on pause for a minute? So how about we bring in some joy, because we need to shift this a little bit. And so that oil will usher in that light just for a moment. Does not mean that it's not significant, whatever needs to be dealt with, only that it wants to bring in a little bit of joy buffer. That's fun. A joy buffer. Cool. Of course, that's who wouldn't want that?
Exactly.
I almost always, which is kind of a no-no when it comes to blending your oils. If you're looking for a soothing, calming, even for bed, those kind of things, you don't usually want a citrus in that blend that you're trying to deeply relax, because it does help wake you up. It does, it's a stimulating oil as opposed to the calming and put you in a coma kind of oils, because we have those. um, but I just love, even if it's just a couple drops, whatever else I'm putting in, and I'm talking about in the diffusers and things, because it just, man alive, it just changes absolutely everything, and it makes everything, it just brings in light. It's the only way I can describe it. And here's a quick tip. I actually have tangerine, red mandarin. What's the other one? Oh, grapefruit. I have those, a couple of drops of those in the vacuum cleaner bag, or it's not a bag, but it's the plastic container where all the stuff goes and you dump it. So I just drop in there before I start vacuuming ever. And then it's like instant diffusers, freaking awesome.
Nice.
And so it does remind us most times a citrus will help us feel clean, or it smells clean. That's one of the responses, even if people don't know why or what it is, they have a sense that it's clean. And it's because it's embedding more light so that we can hold more light. Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow.
Got lots of goodness this morning.
That was good. Not me, so you might want to write it down. Whoa. Oh, I like that. Um, Tangerine really does that now that I'm looking at it. Oh, I keep getting chills. That's awesome. Uh, um, it's opening, it's allowing those cells that are already bogged down, it changes them so they can hold that light, and so that it can have a higher frequency if it chooses. And when I say if it chooses, that means you and how you're responding or reacting. Full circle. How you like that?
Yeah,
That was fun.
that is awesome. And who
Wow.
doesn't need a little bit more joy
Ah,
holidays?
absolutely.
Bringing in those citrus and well, we use lemon for cleaning, orange
Mhm.
cleaner, there's all
Yeah.
different citrus cleaners out there. And yeah, so that clarity too, that coming back to the
Mhm.
clarity and focus and, just an appreciation and gratitude for everything that you have been given and the beauty that is surrounding us at all times and just the people that you get to spend time with and the holidays when you can all get together is a very special time, and to be grateful for that is so so important.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking about the different ways that, as you were talking about, like cleaning products and things, when it comes to the oils. There is not any place in my life, I swear, that I don't use them. It's, and what I was just thinking, the seatbelt strap that you have in the car or truck, I always put in, and it's always a citrus. So whether it's tangerine or, I use grapefruit a lot. I love grapefruit. I don't like to eat it, but I love the smell. Don't know what that's about, but, um, and so I always put that, like, on the strap on the outside of it, and so every time I'm moving and everything else, it's keeping me awake, it's keeping, and I usually will have a drop or 2 of peppermint because that keeps everything focused and awake and gives you that wonderful pep, and so I yeah, there's any place that I don't use oils. But that was one of the weird, odd things that I don't know whoever nobody told me to do that. I just like, well, that's in front of me for how many hours when I'm always in the car, and I always think about then what is the what's the target that I'm looking for? What is it that I want to achieve? And that will tell me what kind of oil that I'm going to use. And so with that, I want, especially on a long road trip, I'm probably gonna refresh in that quite a bit, every stop or so, just because it lifts you, it keeps that focus and clarity, and I it's amazing, to that they're so powerful, and literally, it's a drop. If we remember that, as a gauge, it should be that you should 1 drop equals 1 dose of an essential oil. And what everybody really thinks of a drop is not a drop. It is way more. So just a drop out of the bottle, that's actually still more than a drop.
Mm,
If we were to actually weigh it out. So when it comes to diffusers and or how we're using them, if it's going in an environment, excuse me, I'm usually super heavy on those. Like the diffuser box will tell you like 3 to 5 drops. Like times 5. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I learned. And a lot of the citrus, they're thin. The oils, especially wild orange. Oh my gosh, it just like pours right out.
yep.
And so I'm like, whoa, hi. Didn't I? Okay, there's a lot more than I expected in that one when I turned it on. Um, but we can use that like tangerine. Think about using putting in a spray bottle, with just water if you wanted. I mean, be lazy, make it easy,
Yeah.
and spray that. That's what actually I have in the car, in the truck. I have um it's a whole blend of citrus oils that I have just in a spray bottle with water to get up, and then I spray the mats in the car mats all the time. And so it has that. I love it. I'm going to be in that environment forever, so it's I know that I'm driving at least an hour to get anywhere. There's a boat ride in there, so for me, so it's going to be enjoyable. And this is, I might have talked about it before, but all the deckhands on the ferry when I go across, they know I'm on board, whether they saw me get on or not, because they say they can smell my car, the truck. I'm like, you guys can't, there's no way. I mean, I've got the windows up and everything. They're like, nope, we can always smell it. And we don't like to smell most of the things that come on here. I'm like, oh, got it. Yay. So I just thought that was so funny. And because actually the last time that I came back across Wednesday or something, and I couldn't figure out what the one deckhand, what she was doing. She was telling me, which lane to go into on the ferry. And she's like, and I couldn't figure out what she's doing. She's like, I love when you're on board. And I'm like, oh, she's getting her fix. Got it.
That's awesome. Well, and that's the most important thing. And you've said it, I don't know how many times, is like sitting them in a bottle in a cupboard isn't going to help you. Using them is. So Dr. Dave just gave a whole bunch of different suggestions on how to use them, and very easy ways to use them to just bring them into your environment and clear out stuff that no longer serves you. So that's awesome. Thank you so much.
And I know that it's probably just looking like I'm telling stupid, silly stories, but it's because I'm hoping you're getting the gist of why it's a teaching moment, so
Yeah.
it's part of the native.
Stories make it stick.
Yes. So, yay.
So do you
I
have
would,
any parting words for this reading that we did this morning?
I want to hear from everyone of their weird, quirky things that they use the oils for. Like these weird stories and stuff. I want to hear what those are, because they're usually good ideas, and just
Yeah.
somebody hasn't, thought of it. Um, I recommend in the story about me not liking rosemary, if you're not liking an oil, there's a reason. That means you're not in vibrational alignment with that oil. And I know that. I tell people all the time, the more you hate it, the more you need it.
Yep.
So I always do take that moment of like, why don't I like it? Am I willing to change that right now? Yeah, I'll get back to that. Okay. It's a choice. I know that it's a choice, but I'm making that conscious choice, because then when I'm really mad that it's still happening, it's not a surprise to me. Like, dumbass, you haven't done anything with it. Yeah, let me get that oil on the next order and deal with it.
And I think I mentioned before, I did a flower essence class, and they had cards, like a stack of cards, and it had all the beautiful flowers that the flower essences were made from. And my teacher said, go through these and pick out the ones you don't like. I thought that was kind of weird. Okay. And I did. And like, I love flowers. Like, but some it's like, I don't like the looks of you, So I'd put it aside, and I had quite a stack. So she went through and she just did this reading on just looking at the cards. And I'm like, how did you know that? And she's like, well, when you don't like something, it means that there's something going on in your life, and that's why you're pushing that away. It's just like colors. If there's colors that you don't like, it means that you really need to bring that color into your life, because there's something your ego's like, I don't want to heal from that, so you just need to go over there. So bringing those things in and having that awareness of, okay, well, I think this oil smells like dirty socks. Well, it's probably because you need it, and right now your ego's like, I don't like that smell, and neither do you, and we're not going to breathe it in, so because it doesn't want you to change. So keep that in mind and go on a little exploration. If you've got some oils, breathe them in, see what it smells like. Do you like it? Do you not? And then do some research if you don't, and find out what's going on. And then you can find out maybe some things that you've been looking to change but haven't had the awareness of what it is. Well, the oils will tell you, because they're pretty like, this is it.
Yeah, they're pretty much their only job, their medicine that
Yep,
Mother Earth brings for our healing, our being able to change what it is that is no longer serving us. So
exactly.
if we look at it from that perspective, then we've got some pretty amazing tools in front of us that are at our disposal that can be minimal in cost, if you will.
Yeah.
And man, nothing like them. So I love that we love what's together.
Me too. All
Mm,
right. Well, thank you everybody for joining in today. And if you're watching this on the replay, then let us know that and let us know where you're watching from, because we always like to see where in the world we are traveling to. And we will be right back with the what if and positive possibilities for this coming week. And yeah, we'll see you next week on Monday, and have a wonderful week, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Dave, for being here and hanging
my
out today.
pleasure.
It's always so much fun.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great week, everyone.
We'll talk to you soon.